Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Akila Galore. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you to 772 subscribers. Let's get to 1,000. I'm so happy and appreciative of you all's support. Thank you for listening to my crazy story times. And with that being said, here's another one. Okay, y'all, I was on the phone earlier today. Right now it's Tuesday, February 6th at 9:02 p.m. I just wanted to get on here and tell y'all this story time because earlier I was talking to my homegirl. I'm going to call her Fairy because everywhere she goes, she sprinkles dust. She sprinkles gold dust. Like, she's just so magical. Hey, girl. Disclaimer. When I'm telling my story times, I'm telling y'all my story times, not only for you all to learn a lesson, but for y'all to just understand that it's okay to unapologetically live your life, no matter what people say, because believe me, people are out here doing the things that I be talking about. They just never going to say it, including the people in this story. This story is about how someone can, this is a spiritual story. Like how, I'm gonna tell y'all about how like my spirit told me that something was off with this girl due to a gift she gave me and how I ended up finding out that it was, I don't know, this is weird. I was just talking to my friend about it earlier and she was like, you should definitely tell this. This is such an interesting story. You need to get on YouTube and tell your story. And so here I am.
I be so sick of you niggas, y'all contradict me. I be so bold myself when you come and fuck me. I feel so ordinary except when you around me. Treat me like water while you play me out. Arguments, you air me out. Tripping about you.
So we was talking about on the phone. We were basically, me and my homegirl on the phone. We're like, yeah, girl, you know how you catching up with your girl or whatever. And we're like, hey, girl, you know, I forget the fuck what we start talking about. I don't know what triggered this. But basically, I used to hang around. Damn, this story. I was on the phone with her for 2 hours. Damn, I don't even know where to start. So much shit be happening with me, y'all. I don't know where to start. Damn, we talked about so much shit. I don't even know where to start with y'all. But anyway, I'm going to just basically go like this. I know the story. Oh, this is how we start. Okay. So basically, I went on a trip and I met this, I went on this trip with this girl who I thought was a friend. And I end up finding out that she's a part of a coven of witches. And I'm going to tell you why I think that she's a part of a coven of witches and what happened. It all started with a sugar daddy about 5 or 6 years ago. As you listen to my story times, a lot of things may contradict each other due to the timeline in which I'm telling you. Like, I'd be like, oh, that happened like 5 or 6 years ago around this time or that time. There are some things that are definite that I know that happened around this time, but bitch, I be living my life so motherfucking much. I just be doing so much shit in a short amount of time. Like, I do shit, learn a lesson, and go on. Do shit, learn a lesson, and go on. And sometimes I'm just be moving so fast. My life be just like moving so quickly because I be experiencing life. I be living, bitch. You should try it. I met this sugar daddy. I was on this. I went to this. Damn, it's so many stories in a story that it's in a story. It started off like this. Let me tell you what happened. See, what had happened was I was on the dating website, the same one that I've been on for all this time that I've been telling y'all. It was a gay guy who introduced me to this site a long time ago, but I would get on and off of it periodically. So I was on this website and I was on the website and I met this black guy who speaks Spanish and he speaks English, and he told me that he had just came in from Spain and he wanted to go on a date, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. I talked to this guy on the phone. I heard his voice on the phone. We talked to each other on the phone. We set up our date and he says, cool, we give a place to meet in Buckhead. There was this restaurant in Buckhead called it was in Phipps Plaza, right by, I think, the Louis Vuitton store, or like it's in Phipps Plaza, but the restaurant is not there anymore. So we were supposed to meet there at a restaurant, and had a time set. I get to the host stand at the restaurant, and she tells me, I say, hey, I'm here to meet someone. She walks me to the bar, and she was like, oh, hey, are you here to meet this guy? And I have this discombobulated facial expression, because this guy that she's introducing me to is like 6'5". He's super tall, 6'5", bald head, white hair. He's a white man. I'm like, no, I'm here to see a black man. I'm here to meet a black man. So I go back, the host go back to the host stand, and I go to the bar to sit down. And the Jewish guy's just sitting at the other end of the bar. He comes up to me and he's like, hey, I don't know who you're here to meet. I don't know what's going on in your life, but you're such a beautiful woman. I want to take care of you. Like, these are his words. He's like, you're such a beautiful woman. I want to take care of you. I'll help you with whatever you have going on in your life. Here's my name and my number. Call me. But I'm here to, he's telling me that he's here to meet somebody already. And I'm like, okay, I didn't think anything of it. And I proceed to just wait for who I'm supposed to be meeting. Well, his guest showed up. My guest did not. I leave. I'm not gonna lie, I peeped the girl that approached him when she came up to him. So I was like, yeah, she's a sugar babe and he's a sugar daddy. I peeped what was going on. I call him, and then me and him go out to lunch. Time passed. I met this man. He offered to put me through college, but he wanted to put me through college to be particularly a lobbyist, which I did not want to do. So I did not take him up on his offer to do that. I know that even now I could have sat down and went to college on this man's dime, and I did not take the opportunity serious enough because I was just so not focused on this shit. This man became so significant in my life, I met him right before, like, if y'all follow my stories, I met him right before I met the Nigerian guy that I was dating after my divorce. So I met this sugar daddy in between the time period of going through my divorce and meeting the new guy that I was supposed to meet. But it's like that time period in between. That's when I met my sugar daddy, and that's when he came into my life. And then I met the Nigerian guy, fell in love with the Nigerian guy. The Nigerian guy started doing me fucking wrong, and then I got the sugar daddy back on his ass. Moved out from with the Nigerian guy, moved in with the motherfucking sugar daddy, became the sugar daddy's bottom bitch, living with him in his house. He had another bitch living across the hall in the other room because he had a two-bedroom, 1-bath condo in Buckhead. So we all living in there, and he got this other girl who's like an artist. He's not sleeping with her or anything, but she's just like living there, and he's taking care of her, he's taking care of me, and he's taking care of other bitches, plenty other bitches. That goes by. So now this man is in my life. I'm gonna call him Superman because that's what I call him. I call him Superman. So Superman's in my life, and it's me, Superman, and I'm like Superman got bottom bitches. If you know what a bottom bitch is, then you know what a bottom bitch is. But Superman got other bottom bitches. So Superman got he got two other bottom bitches that's like, these are they top tier. Like Cardi B said, there's tiers to tricking. I can't explain all the tiers to you, bitch. If you know, you know. The tier of these women these bitches' tiers are so top level, they're in his wheel. And this man has made a company that he retired from, a company that sold for like $300 million. These bitches, and he had a wife, and his wife died. These bitches are in his wheel. They don't even know he's in his wheel, but he told me that they're in his wheel. They still right now, while I'm making this video, don't know that they're in his wheel. But they're his bottom bitches. But I became like, I was on my way there, but I don't know if I put in enough work to become put in the wheel. Like, they don't know they're in the wheel, so I wouldn't know if I was in the wheel either. So he got these other bottom bitches, but one of them I live in Miami Beach right now. One of the bottom bitches live in Fort Lauderdale, she live in Miami. She lives somewhere here in Miami too, or like she live in the state of Florida. Like, either here in Miami Beach, Fort Lauderdale, somewhere. She's down here too. And then the other one's in Atlanta. Both of them are black girls. I'm another black girl. There's, follow the story now. So we all sometimes I'm saying this because when he had me living with him, I would sleep in his room, in his bed with him. But while I'm sleeping in his room, in his bed with him, he had requirements for me living with him, because he was like, you're getting expensive, why don't you just come live with me? And I never made him like my home base, but I bought some clothes and stuff over there with him. If you follow me on Snapchat, if you was following me on Snapchat years ago, then you know that I'm fucking telling the truth, because you know that I used to be posting all them snaps in that high rise. That was my sugar daddy high rise. So I moved in with him and I'm living with him, and he's like taking care of me. I'm basically not doing shit. I'm just spending money. Goddamn, get my nails and toes done, shopping. Goddamn, his requirements were for me to sleep naked and like no clothes on, bitch, and walk the dog at 7 a.m. and like 3 p.m. every single day. And bitch, I was young and out here in these streets. So bitch, who home sitting there walking a dog? God damn it. I wasn't always there to do that. And then mind you, I'm trying to manage this relationship, because while I'm with him living in his house, the only way I could get back and forth to his house is because the other nigga that I was seeing is a car dealer. And because he's a car dealer, he would be letting me drive his cars. So as I'm driving his cars, I would be trying to shuffle. And I told my nigga at the time that I was moving out from with him to go move back in with my cousin. But really, I had a duty or obligation to go move in with my sugar daddy, because I wanted to keep reaping the benefits of my sugar daddy. And before y'all even motherfucking ask, no, I was not fucking my sugar daddy, because he had a micro penis. And I'm talking about little bitty penis, balls big as a baby head. The most I ever motherfucking did for this man is probably lick the tip of his dick. Can't say probably, but did, because he would like have some pleasure. He was like 85 years old, bitch. 85 years old. So, and he was fucking taking care of my bitch. Bitch, he got my titties done for me. Yes, he got my titties done for me. Like, bitch, this 10K on my chest. And he motherfucking, like, he became my mentor. He used to be telling me, don't ever let a man take care. Don't ever be with a man or settle for a man who ain't taking care of you in at least 10 grand a month. Your minimum, he used to tell me all the time, your minimum allowance from a man should be at least 10 grand a month. I haven't found a man who could give me that. I've been giving myself that, bitch. Like, literally, I became that nigga that he said, don't ever settle. Like, I became that for myself. But anyway, back to my story. So the story, I'm talking fast in my story, because my story times are usually long, and I want y'all to just follow it. Just listen. Maybe you'll learn something. Maybe I'm just like, yeah, listen. So I'm living with the sugar daddy, and I love to give y'all background and the context of what the fuck happened, like to lead up to the story, how this happened. So I got the sugar daddy, living with him, got a boyfriend, and I got my ex-husband. Me and my ex-husband ain't together no more, but I was living with my ex-boyfriend, and when he would get on my nerves and like piss me off, I fucking moved out from with his ass and went and moved. Told him I took all my stuff out his house and told him I was moving in with my cousin, and then I had all my stuff at her house, but I would be using his car and bouncing back and forth between goddamn College Park, Douglasville, and Buckhead. Like, bitch, you talking about on the prowl, bitch. I would be meeting up. I would wake up in the morning, because my sugar daddy like to have, before I moved in with him, and it was a stretch going all these places, and I hardly ever had to go to Douglasville unless I needed like some clothes or something. So I was really bouncing back between College Park and Buckhead. And my sugar daddy would want to have lunch. Like, the drive from College Park to Buckhead could be 25 minutes, but if it's traffic, it could be 45. So he would want to meet for lunch like every day around 11 o'clock, 11:30 a.m. Mind you, he 85. So let me tell you his schedule, bitch. Like, he literally wakes up every single morning at 4 a.m. He's so systematic. He'll wake up at he wake up at 4 a.m., have coffee by 5, be reading newspaper by 6, having breakfast by 6, go see his first bottom bitch who live in Atlanta. They would have breakfast every day at 6. And then he would come home and go walk his dog. And then this is because I met him when his wife was like alive. Like, cause he had a wife. But the thing is, his wife, he had 2 condos in the same building, like one on the 19th floor and one on the 21st floor. One was a 2-bedroom, one was a 3-bedroom. His wife stayed on the top floor with in-home care because she had Alzheimer's. Like, she had ended up getting like dementia, Alzheimer's. She lost her memory, and he would go see her every single, like, while I was talking to him, he would go see her. So I'm telling you the routine that he had when I was with him and while his wife was alive. The wife that had dementia, who was staying 2 floors up from him, and he was staying 2 floors down from her with 2 bitches. True story, bitch. Facts. So 4 a.m. he up. 5 a.m. he's getting coffee. 6 a.m. he going to see his wife. 7 a.m. he walking his dog. 8 a.m. chilling, smoking a blunt. 9 a.m. chilling, smoking a blunt. About 11:30, we going to have lunch. 3 o'clock, after lunch, he's going to see his wife. Usually bringing her a cheesecake because she loved cheese. She used to love eating cheesecake. Then he would come back to the house, roll a blunt, walk the dog by 3. And he in the bed by 6 p.m., bitch. No cap. So, I don't want to make my story times too long. So, like, yeah. But as we are motherfucking, this whole routine in between me, like, going back and forth with my nigga, being with my sugar daddy, going to lunch with him every day. Eventually I move in. His requirements is I'm sleeping naked. This motherfucker will be rubbing his hands all across my body at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, just rubbing me down, pinching my nipples and shit. That shit got irritating. I ended up starting to be cold from him. I started being cold towards his ass. So his ass eventually cut me off from he eventually pulled back from me and he found somebody else because he used to still be going on dates. Even while I was living with him, he would still be seeing other bitches. Like, this is why I'm not gonna say I condone cheating, but nigga, in this type of situation, I didn't really give a fuck because he's like, he got his wife, me, a bitch next door in the other room, and he's still going on lunches, and he still got his 2 other bottom bitches that are in the wheel that they don't know they're in the wheel. But he ended up helping one of them. He helped them so much. Like, he helped them start businesses. He helped them get surgeries. Like, that life that y'all talk about, y'all see these girls living, it's girls like me who be looking regular, schmegler, and you don't even know what the fuck be going on. You don't know who's sponsoring their life, bitch. Even though, and it's not about a man completely sponsoring your life. A lot of these men be going after women who are equally ambitious as them, who are just as who's just as ambitious, self-driven. Like, I know they have sometimes sugar daddies have this rep of going after women who come from low wages, low income. They go after, and this is true, they go after women who are helpless. But then you got some bitches who are top notch, top tier, and they call it being sponsored. That's why I say there are different levels to tricking, bitch. Anyway, yeah, I have this whole debacle going on with me and Superman, and then I'm fucking a Nigerian guy, but I never fucked Superman. Me and Superman used to just spend time together, go to lunch together, smoke weed together. I would be walking his dog sometimes. And he love eat my pussy. Like, Superman used to be eating. I ain't never had nobody eat my pussy better than Superman ever in my life. Like, to this day. To this motherfucking day right now. Right now, as I'm making this video, ain't nobody ever ate my pussy better than Superman. And he 85, bitch. Yeah, I know he just turned 86. Yeah, last year, bitch. In December. So, me and we got all this going on. Now let's skip to the juicy part. As we're going to these lunches at 11:30 you eat every day, but I probably seen him for lunch once or twice a week. So it wasn't that bad to drive from College Park to Washington Road. I mean, from College Park over to Buckhead. It wasn't that bad of a drive, being that I only see him once or twice a week, until he started to want to see more of me and just wanting more time from me, which they eventually all do. So I keep saying so and and anyway, when I would see him and have these lunches, I would be meeting. That's how I met. Ooh, I almost said these girls' names. Let's get these girls some names. But I have to make it easy for me to remember. So let's call them things. Thing 1, thing 2, thing 3. So thing 1 and thing 2 are his bottom bitches that are in the wheel. Thing 1, thing 2 are his bottom bitches that are in the wheel. Thing 3 comes into play. I'm the star of the show. I'm the star of this motherfucking YouTube video I'm making right now. I'm the star of the motherfucking story time I'm telling y'all right now. So I'm the star of the motherfucking life, bitch. I'm the star. So I ain't no thing, bitch. I'm the star telling the story. Anyway, thing 3, I meet thing 3, and she's a mixed girl. She's Puerto Rican and black. Thing 3, me and thing 3 never talked to each other. We end up, we went on lunches with this man for probably a whole year and a half, and we never spoke to each other, never exchanged numbers. But thing 3 was very infatuated with thing 2. Okay? Unbeknownst to me, thing 2 and 3 kind of had like a relationship at some point in time during the escapade of being with this sugar daddy. They had their own escapade together one-on-one, and I think that it turned into like, you know, how it's like this episode of how girls get together and they make out and they're enjoying each other's company, and then a man comes into their life and it dissipates. And one girl is hurt because she was really in love with girl, and this girl wasn't in love with her, and blah, blah, blah. So I think that that's what happened between them. But I'm really not sure of their dynamic. But I do know that they had a thing going on. Thing 2 and thing 3. Me and thing 3, after about a year and a half of being familiar strangers, I cannot recall how me and her exchange contact information. That's like even when I was telling this story to my friend earlier, I could not recall how me and this girl exchanged contact information. But what I do recall is she's a mobile masseuse. One day, while I'm living with Superman at this time, me and Superman are we're living together. Mind you, my stuff's still in Douglasville at my cousin's house, but I'm no longer living with my Nigerian boyfriend. So I'm literally going back and forth between the Nigerian guy's house and Superman's house, staying at both of their houses whenever the fuck I feel like it, driving the Nigerian dude's car because the fuck, I ain't have no car. So how else am I gonna get to my escapades? I'm at Superman's house this evening, and Superman, and also let me tell you, so the Nigerian guy, Superman knew that I was dating the Nigerian guy. The Nigerian guy did not know that I was seeing Superman. Superman said, "What do you think the Nigerian guy is going to do when he finds out that you're seeing me?" I was like, "I don't know." He was like, "You know he's not going to let you drive his car anymore." I was like, "Yeah, right." He was like, "No, he's really not." And I was like, naive, and like, I was like, "Man, you don't have anything going on besides like meeting me for lunch and da 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 da." He was just like, "It doesn't matter. He's a man, and if he's a real man, he's going to be territorial, and he's going to be like this, and he's going to be like that." And I wasn't hearing anything Superman had to say. One day, I was me and Superman went to lunch and he bought Thing 4. Thing 4, me and Thing 4, when we first met, Thing 4 walked in like Cookie Lyons from the goddamn from that show Empire. Thing 4 had it going on too. She had it going on. All these bitches, sorry, not be disrespectful to, but all of them were bad bitches. Like, they all had substance, driving nice ass cars. Like, they got shit going on of substance to me. So they're not like some bum ass chicks. Thing 4 walks in like Cookie Lion, and she has some liquid cocaine with her, like some liquid, literally clear liquid cocaine, and she's at the table. She came in, she ordered her drinks, she fucking pulls out her liquid cocaine, does it right there. I'm probably, mind you, this is 5 or 6 years ago, and I'm looking at her like fascination as a young girl in her 20s, like, oh my god, she's such a bad bitch. Like, look at her, she walks in, she driving a Maserati truck, like, look at her, she got fur, like, she doing the thing, she looking like a motherfucking Cookie Lions. Look at her. And she started reading the fuck out of my body language. She was my postures. Like, she just started reading me or whatever. And she asked me, I asked her, like, how did that make her feel? Like, the drug that she was doing, I asked her, like, how did it make her feel? I was like, how does that make you feel? And she was like, try it. She was like, try it, here, try it. And then she gave it to me. And I mean, I was receptive to opening and trying it, but I tried it like right there at the table. Fucking lunch, midday. It's fucking 12 o'clock in the afternoon, bitch, on a Tuesday. And I'm drinking alcohol, and we're drinking, and this is midday. This is how it used to be with him. It's just like, you meet. When I went to lunch with him, I never knew if it was going to be me and him, or me, him, and 2 other girls, 3 other girls. Like, the most it ever been when we went out to lunch is like 6 other girls. So I didn't know who would come to lunch. It was always a surprise. Like, it was always a thrill to go to lunch with him. One day after lunch, after I've done this fucking cocaine, this liquid cocaine, and goddamn been drinking alcohol, I decide to get in the car and drive. And at this point, I'm under the fucking influence. And I'm not going to say what kind of car I was in, but because I don't know if the motherfucking police of the Atlanta, the APD is watching this video, because it was a motherfucking hit and run. So one day I am in this car, and after lunch, and I decide to go, and I'm feeling emotional, and I decide to go confront 2 old friends. Bitch, why did I decide to do that? Bitch, tell me when. Don't ever try to bring harm to somebody, because you don't know if they are protected, and sometimes when you try to bring harm to other people, you are the one who gets hurt. Okay? And that's what happened to me. I'm on my way to motherfucking go confront these girls, and I get into a car accident. And bitch, I hit a parked car. I motherfucking make a U-turn, see the police or anything not around. I immediately ran to my sugar daddy Superman's house, because he had a private garage. Like, I'm in my Nigerian boyfriend's car, but my sugar daddy has a private garage because he lives in this private condominium building. So I had the key garage thing to his garage. So after I hit this car and I realized no police are not around or anything, nobody looking at me, nobody trying to stop me, none of that shit. I'm motherfucking, because you under the influence, but when you go into a shock like that, you wake the fuck up. So I get rushed to my sugar daddy house, because I'm at this point, I think I was in somewhere in Buckhead, close to his house, and he lived in Buckhead. So I rushed to his house, go inside the garage, fucking call this, and this is how you get caught up when you're doing some shit you ain't supposed to be doing. I get inside the garage. At first, I call the sugar daddy, tell him everything that's going on. I tell him that I'm downstairs in the parking garage. He tells me to calm down, relax, come upstairs. I tell him what happened with the car. I call the my Nigerian boyfriend, and tell him what happened with the car. And he's like, "Where are you? Are you okay?" I told him to bring because remind you, he's a car dealer. So I told him to bring another car with a different license plate on it, and let's switch license plates on the car. Because when you're a car dealer, you can switch the license plates on. All those plates are temporary. You just fucking take it off one car and put it on another car. And I ain't telling nothing. I ain't telling no other deals, bitch. I don't know who the that's all you need to know. So I'm in the garage. I fucking hit the front of the car is damaged. But the reason why I switched the plates, because if the police pull the fucking car that's damaged over, they be like, this is the license plate on the car. He can't say that it was, because clearly those not the same license plates. You get what I'm picking. You get it. So we are goddamn. The Nigerian guy shows up to the parking garage, and he's like, "Whose house is this? Where are you? Whose place is this? Whose garage is this? Like, what are you doing over here? What happened? Like, bitch, I done got caught up." Mind you, my sugar daddy said don't ever bring, and his other restriction was don't ever bring another man to my house. Like, don't ever bring another man to my house. I don't want another man knowing where I live at, for safety. And I understand, for safety concern purposes, like he has a nice building. I wouldn't want nobody. I understood. So the Nigerian guys in the parking garage, we switched plates, and I tell him the whole situation, tell him everything that's going on. I explained to him, like, yeah, I think I lied to him, to be honest. I think that I lied to him. I think I lied and told him. I think I told him about the situation, the real reason why I got into the car accident, but I lied about whose place it was. Because I can't imagine that I told the truth and he didn't buck on me then, because of how he ended up finding out about my sugar daddy later on. If y'all would like to know that story, comment down in the comment section below, because that's not even the point of why I was telling the story anyway. Girl, I got so many story times. I got so many story times. My nigga, like, so many story times about this particular stage of my life. I get the car situation figured out. We switch license plates. As I go upstairs to go be consoled by Superman has Thing 4 upstairs. Thing 4 is still on doing cocaine. Like, I tried it, but I'm not like, I've tried cocaine, but I'm not like I can't stick with this shit. Like, I don't like the way it make me feel. I don't like the way I come down from. I don't like the way it make me feel. I'm a weed head. When I go back upstairs, and I told. And then me and my Nigerian boyfriend, we ended up switching cars. So we switched license plates and we switched cars. And he took the damaged car home, and he bought me the car that he had. He loved me so much. Mwah. I appreciate you so much if you're watching this video. So yeah, he bought me another car. So we basically switched cars. And then I told him I would be there shortly. I go upstairs, and Thing 4 is upstairs, and she's on this cocaine binge, and she gets mad that a dude is downstairs. Like, my dude is downstairs. Mind you, he never came up. I never bought him. She was like, this bitch done bought a man to your house, and what the fuck is this, and da-da-da. And she's like, basically, all of the girls that know Superman are protective of Superman. Like, we are all protective of Superman in our own way, even protective with the other girls. It's like, oh, bitch, even though you're one of his bitches, don't you dare step up. Like, all the bitches be trying to, basically, she was trying to check me about me bringing my nigga to Superman's house. Never brought him in, but I did bring him to the location, because she didn't know what had happened. She didn't know I had got into a car accident. She didn't know that. She just got upset about the situation. Tell me why me and this bitch get into it. Like, we are face to face, bitch. Like, me and this bitch are about to motherfucking fight in his house, and he comes in between us, and he's like, it's not like y'all don't need to fight. He thought we were gonna fight. Like, bitch, what's up? Now, I done said all that. I done told y'all all this. The point that I was making in my story is, I'm basically giving y'all a backstory. How I met Superman, what came of Superman, like how basically how I met Thing 3, because now we're going into the story of Thing 3. Keep up with me. Thing 1 lives in Florida, she in the wheel. Thing 2 lives in Atlanta, she's in the wheel. Thing 3 is the mobile masseuse. She's a mobile masseuse. Thing 4 is the erratic cocaine head. And then there's me. That's 5. And then the other girl, we gonna call her little alien, the girl that lived across the room, across the hall in the room, because she wasn't his girl. Like he said he was not attracted to her. She just was around because she was just like very artistic. Like she was like almost like, she reminded me of lava, like a lava lamp. Like she was just very creative, a beautiful girl, eccentric, like just very different, but he wasn't physically attracted to her. So thing 3, the mobile masseuse. And after all that with the car accident, all that shit, I still kept my little lie going on for a while between and I wasn't lying to Superman. I was lying to the Nigerian guy, because Superman, I was transparent with him. But the Nigerian guy was not transparent with him about my sugar daddy until later on in our relationship. I can tell you how I got there. All that has passed. I've been going to lunch with Superman for probably a year and some change now. One day he asked me, did I want to get a massage? He would have his mobile masseuse come by and do it. Like he would have thing 3 come by and give me the massage. And I was like, okay, cool. She came to his high rise and she gave me the massage. I fell asleep while she was giving me the massage. Apparently, while I was asleep, them two were having a conversation, and she liked the way my pussy looked. And as when I woke up, and she left, he told me that she was attracted to me and that she wanted to connect. So I think that's how we ended up connecting with phone numbers. Like I think that's how we ended up connecting. So the next time we went to lunch, she was more talkative. Like we started talking to each other. Mind you, we've been going to lunch for like 18 months, never said a mere 2 words to each other. And thing 3 got introduced to him. This is why I don't really bring girls around my dude, because I know how men think. They think with their eyes first. So I'm not sure how thing 1 and I'm not sure how my Superman met thing 1 and thing 2, but I do know that Superman met thing 3 through thing 2. Thing 2 basically recruited thing 3 for Superman, and now she's on board. So that's how they met. She was a recruit. Me and her ended up co-mingling at lunch one day, and we exchanged contact information, and she asked me if I wanted to have a threesome. I said, yeah. Like, I'm putting y'all all in my business, but anyway, she asked me did I want to have a threesome, and I was like, yeah. And she's a beautiful girl. I was attracted to her. I was like, yeah, sure. If I show you these girls, y'all want to be attracted to them too. But I just refuse. Even though I'm telling my stories about what I've been through, I would never say their names, because it's just not worth it. Like, their names are irrelevant. The story's just interesting. But they're true stories. So me and thing 3, or she asked me did I want to have this threesome, and I was like, yeah, sure. We meet at the Ritz-Carlton downtown Atlanta. I don't know the guy that she's going to introduce me to. I think that's the thrill of one. And sometimes I love the thrill of like, oh, who's it going to be? How big is the dick going to be? Like, is the chemistry going to go well? Because at any given time, even if I'm in a room with you butt naked, if the answer is no, the answer is no. If I decide not to do it, I decide not to do it, and I walk away. Thank God I've never been put in a position to where I've had to anything happen where I really never. I mean, I've said no. I've been in a room butt naked with someone, and we were about to do it, and I said no, and it stopped, and it just didn't happen. Like, that nigga got blue balls now because I said no. No means no. Anytime that you're around somebody and you say no, no means no. So, but I said yes. So I'm in a room with I meet this guy, and he's a well-dressed man. He kind of reminds me of, he looks like I don't know who to tell you that he looks like. He looks like a, do y'all remember, I can't think of the reference right now, but he's a black man, bald black man, and good looking man of substance. We met at the Ritz-Carlton. We're there. We start drinking. I have so many crazy stories. Like, this story is so crazy. We basically, we got the straps. Like, if y'all want to know the details of how that encounter happened, let me know down in the comment section below. But basically, I met this girl, and she ended up from that threesome that I had with her, I was introduced to a black cult, basically. I won't say the name of this group, because if I say the name of this group, that'll be identifiable for too many people. So I would say that it was a black cult. For real. At first, I didn't see it this way, but apparently, or this is how I think about it, hindsight 2020, between the luncheons for a year and a half and the threesome initiation, I feel like I was recruited for this black cult. It was like a group of people, a social group who came together and did different activities in Atlanta, all black people. And but they were of substance, like middle class people, some of them a couple millionaires. We had I'm around these people now from after this threesome, and I started being introduced to different people. We start having like different parties and friendsgivings and friendmasses and different activities being held at different people's houses. We were bonding. We would have movie night. We were bonding as a group, just a close group. This story is taking such a turn, because the point that I'm trying to make to y'all is, you have to be careful. I mean, I'm an explorer. Like, if you know me, I'm a free spirit. I'm an explorer. I'll try almost anything once or twice. I try almost anything once. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because I love exploring. I love living my life. I do not limit myself to different things. I really don't limit myself to anything. What I do is I will entertain it at least once, or go explore it, or go experience it. And then if it's no longer serving me, I cut it off. Like, if I'm not anywhere. I go where I'm celebrated, not tolerated. Like, if I go around a group of people and even though it looks like they're cool, but I don't feel like they're cool, like they're not sitting right with my spirit, I have to get away from them. So I'm introduced to this group. We have the black cult. At this point, I'll say it's a black cult. I'm with this group for probably like 2 years. I'm actually still cool with some of these people, but you're going to find out why. Like, it just felt like a cult to me. Like, it was almost like being in high school again, but this cult was more advanced than high school. I believe that it was a cult because one time I went to one of the group members' house, and they had like these books on witchcraft practices and like moon magic and spells and different ritualistic things in their home that raised a red flag to me, but it just kind of like, I wonder what's that. I didn't know about these things prior to figuring it out, because here I am just thinking I've met people in Atlanta and this is gonna be cool. Like, I've met some like-minded individuals. I'm so excited. Like, this is gonna be awesome. My spirit started picking up on different things immediately, because I had to spend so much time alone. So my spirit picks up on things pretty quickly. When I spend time alone and then I go around you, I could tell. I could see. I am at this person's house and I see these things. I don't say anything. I just take note. I think I asked like, oh, where did you get this from? Where did you get this book from? And they told me, and I was like, oh. I just mentally noted it and then did some Google research. I have my own relationship with God, I have my own ways of tapping into my divinity and being connected and staying protected from certain entities out here. People think the spirit world is a joke, and it's not. People send different entities your ways from miles away. Like if I could feel your energy from, I could be in your, I don't have to be near you. I can feel your energy. There are people I've never fucking met, and I feel your energy through the screen. Like, I know if you could feel my energy as I'm speaking through this video, why don't you think that if you channel your energy towards me and you come up in my arena, my vicinity of my frequency, you don't think that I could feel you channeling your energy towards me? And like, you don't think I could feel that? I can, and you can too. Like, one day, and I'm bringing this full circle to y'all, because what happened was, and how I ended up separating myself from these people, is because I noticed that even though I'm a very, I consider myself to have a personal relationship with God, I also understand that I have this very sexual and erotic energy about me. Like, I love my body and I love who I am, and I own it, bitch. I own my sexiness. And when I walk into the room, I own who I am, you know? And whether it's exploring with a woman or exploring with a man, whatever I choose to do is my prerogative. I identify myself as one thing because I do what I want to fucking do. I don't consider myself as being full-blown gay, because I find that, much so like a man who wants to get his rocks off, is once I finish making out with a woman, like once we've had our sensual encounter, once we've gotten our rocks off, which I have post-nut clarity, PNC, like a man, and I don't want you touching me. I don't want you around me. I don't have anything to say to you. It was merely a desire. I was turned on. I was feeling horny. I liked something about you. Like, it was something physical. I was lusting after you in some way, shape, or form. Therefore, I wanted to act out on impulsion for my lust, not because I'm into you and I see you as a girlfriend or a wife or putting you up or being my bitch. Like, I never have I ever looked at a woman and been like, yeah, I want her to be my woman. Never have I ever. I've looked at a bitch and been like, damn, she fine, I want to fuck her. And I've had girls get mad at me because of that. Who cares? I met this girl, and this is like a men thing. So as I'm in this group, guess who else is in this fucking group? Mind you, I got initiated into the group via Thing 3, who I met via Superman, unbeknownst to me the entire time. Thing 2, the black girl in Atlanta that's on his wheel, that don't know she on his wheel, that I don't still know if she's on his wheel to this day, but she definitely was on his wheel. She's in the group too. Yep. She's in the black group, in the black cult. That's what we're going to call it in this video. She's in the black cult as well. But she reigns supreme. Like, she has status in this group. She's like, people, you know how you're a new person in the group and people have like their hierarchies that they respect, like, oh, this is the captain, this is the captain. I don't even know how to rank people, but you know how they have like the head honcho of the group, and then you have like the little cadets, and then you have like the little lieutenants, and you have like the people who, that's how that group was enlisted. Like, they had their different ranks for people, and she ranked pretty high in this group. I'm initiated to the group. I start being introduced to different people in the group. And the thing about me is, I spend a lot of time by myself. I believe in self-autonomy and thinking for oneself and making your own decisions and being able to just have a free thinking mind. I think that's very important, because if you allow someone to control your mind, they will control your life, and that can be very chaotic. Okay. In this group, there was a lot of, I noticed there was, when I was introduced to the group and we had our outings and we would do different things, I observed that there was a lot of group thinking, which is something I'm not very fond of because I feel like everyone should think for themselves. One of the ways that you can break people out of group thinking is to isolate them and talk to them one-on-one and get them by themselves and see how their brain operates that way. And that's what I started doing. I started infiltrating this group in a manner that I wanted to gain understanding of why God had led me to this group of people. Why had I been introduced to them? What was the lesson here for me to learn, even through my sexual escapades and my sexual prowess of me discovering who I am as a woman and just acting impulsively on my lust. There has to be another reason that I was brought here, and it was. What is it? Must I explore? Yes, the time is now. I started basically interviewing people one-on-one, spending time with them individually, and seeing whom I would allow to continue to be a part of my life and who I would eradicate as time goes by. That's what I did before I left the state of Georgia. I was able to discern and eradicate quite a few people. And I basically, like, cause we had a group, like there was in this black cult, there was an app that we was on. And on this app, that's how we connected. It was almost like a Discord, but it wasn't on Discord because I know that that's something separate. So it was like a group chat that we were in on an app that allow all of us to communicate all the time amongst one another. And there would be different groups, different small groups. So basically make their side groups. And I always wondered, like I would hear conversations and they would be like, oh, did you hear about this? Or did you hear about that? Or did you get invited to this? Or did you get invited to that? And I would be like, no, I didn't hear about that or hear about this or hear about that or get invited to this or get invited to that. It was like, oh, well, like say for example, oh, Thing 2 is having a boat party and there's only Thing 2's having a boat party and they started a group chat on the side that invited of who all the people that she wanted to get in or that she wanted to come to this party. Are you in that group? Mind you, the people who are in the group can see the people who are in the group. So they would come to me and ask me, and this would happen all the time. Like, oh, did you get invited to this? Or did you get invited to that? And I'm like, oh, no, I didn't hear about that. Or I didn't hear about that. And I didn't give a fuck. But the way that this is what I was learning in this time, that people are still, even though they're grown, they're making money, they still childish. And while they would be doing these different things in this group, I would be focusing on my money because even when I joined this group, I still was having my sugar daddy. I didn't have a job. I was just being free. I had my boyfriend. I'm dependent on other men. I didn't even have the career. Like I had yet to hit my $100,000. I had yet to get my high rise. Like I didn't have my high rise when I was with this group. I didn't have my career. I didn't have any of these things. I was just like a wild girl. As I'm talking to this is what they would do. They would say, oh, you didn't get invited to that, and they'd be like, oh, well, if you want to come to that, then you have to ask such and such, can you be invited? And I'm like, what the fuck? Y'all are so childish. Like, are we all? And we're already in one group, and then y'all have y'all other groups where y'all go put like 5 or 2 people or 10 people or 20 people. In this group, it was about 70 people. 70 people in this group total. So they will all go do their own things. And one day I just couldn't take it. I couldn't take the childishness anymore. I couldn't take any of it. So I left the group. I told the group members, I said, if you want to continue to be affiliated with me, you can follow me on Instagram. And for those of who I've built a personal connection with, you have my personal phone number, and I'll proceed from there. But I'm leaving this group, and I left. And I disassociated myself with people who I felt no longer served my highest good. I eradicated them all one by one, individually, pick, pluck, and got them the fuck away. After all the sexual escapades, after all the adventure, because that's not even the only sexual escapade that came out of it. The initial, because once I got into the group, I started, I had this foursome with this couple. If y'all want to know that story, I had a foursome with a couple, a husband and wife, another girl, and it was me. If y'all want to know that story, comment section below. I leave the group and I'm like, okay, fine. I left the group, and I left the group maybe, I honestly do not recall, but I remember it had been a while. It had probably been back in June or July of 2023. I left the group, and I knew that because I had been invited to a camping trip in August of 2023. And August of 2023 was the last time that I spent some time with a couple members from the group who had individually planned a camping trip, which is what I told you they would do. So there would be like popular people who in this group who would plan trips, and they would bring other popular people in the group. And then there would be like people who in the group who are who the popular people felt were subpar from them. So they wouldn't go on the non-popular, they wouldn't go on the subpar people's trip, but everybody would go on their trip. But like, say for example, if it's another person trip who they don't think is like that cool or that vibey, like who they can do this to, no one would attend that trip. So it was only like 3 of us who went camping. After 10 or 15 people, like it would be like 20 people said they're gonna go. Now it's 15, now it's 10, now it's 5, and 3 showed up. So that's what happened with this trip. And that was the last trip. And I got to know these people individually on this trip. And I was just like, one of them, I was over. I was like, yeah, once this trip is over, I'm never going to really be in too much in communication with you ever again. And then the other person, I was like, you know, you are pretty cool. I can see myself hanging out with you again if, you know, if it feels right. Something you need to know about me is I do not like hanging out with people who affiliate with people whom I don't fuck with, especially if you have now let me know that you don't want to fuck with these people either. Not to make us best friends because we have common people we don't like, but in a way that I'm growing. I honestly and genuinely do not like being affiliated or associated with people who no longer serve the highest version of myself. Like, if you're no longer serving, and I'm not saying in a way that it's using you, but it's like in a way that's your highest self. Why would you have somebody around you like the ox in the field, that thing that they talk about in the Bible when it's like the ox pulling the plow in the field? Like, who wants heavy dead weight around them? Nobody. And that same thing goes for me, bitch. If you are not growing, evolving, doing the work on yourself, doing the shadow work that you need to become the best version of yourself, like I am, bitch, I don't want you around. If you keep it up mess and drama on a day-to-day basis, I don't want you around. If you motherfucking always doing shicey shit behind your people who you call your friends back, I don't want you around. If you fucking cheating on your man and you motherfucking putting me in place of saying that, oh, I was with Akila, bitch, I don't want you around. Bitch, I don't condone certain behavior. And that's okay. If there's something that I do and you don't want to be around me, bitch, good riddance. The girl that comes from the camping trip, I'm like, okay. Basically, I told y'all the backstory so y'all could know how all of this comes into play. Because the girl who I deemed, and I'm going to say this respectfully, who I deemed worthy enough to be in my vicinity, in my company, and be around me as an individual on a day-to-day basis that I could share my personal life dealings with. We had bond, and I felt we had authentically bonded on this camping trip, only for me to find out that you are still affiliating and associating with yourself with people who, like, you came across as being a like-minded person like myself, but when it comes down to it, because you don't like to be alone, it's hard for you to cut off people who no longer serve you. Therefore, you still entertain their company because you don't know how to be alone, because you don't want to be alone, and because you don't want to be viewed a certain way. You continue to affiliate yourself with people who are anchoring you down in life that you know you no longer need to be around, but because You don't want to be alone because you are afraid of your own company, because you don't know how to sit with yourself. You choose to still affiliate with people who no longer serve you, and that's on you. It's not on me, and I don't do that shit. Me and this girl go on a trip, and she gives me these 2 items. Like okay, let me back up a little bit. Mind you, this is a girl I went camping with. She came to my house. Now to describe this girl, to me, she makes over $200,000 annually. She has her own house, drives a nice luxury car, doesn't have any kids, and like that's like when I think of her, she's artistic, she's creative. You know, she's very smart, very intelligent. You know, she has great things going for herself. I feel as if she's a very creative person. Like if she only would let her light shine as bright as it shines in front of me. And she doesn't let her light shine bright in front of the group. You know, but she still affiliates I feel like she affiliates and associates herself with people who dim her light. And that causes frustration. And when she's around me, her light is being shined so bright that she doesn't even, and I'm a mirror that's reflecting the light shining right back to her. And she doesn't know how to be receptive to that. Therefore, she needed to go, you know how you've been outside in the sun, you need to go goddamn be in the shade because the light too bright over this bitch. That's what I feel she did to herself. Not to me, but to herself. She's there with me in Atlanta when I'm moving all my stuff out of my condo. She's there at my house, and I felt I finally met a friend on my tax bracket or higher. You know, like my life changed when I reached another tax bracket in a way that it was like the meme that has the butterfly and the inchworm, and the inchworm is like I had people who were with me on the inchworm level who felt like I changed because for whatever reason, but bitch, it's like the butterfly, the inchworm said to the butterfly, you changed. And the butterfly responds, we're supposed to. Because you're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to grow. You're supposed to want more out of life. You're supposed to want to like just grow. And that's something that I've poured so much into myself and sacrificed so much in my life that I wanted to achieve to get to where I am, and to see my life coming into fruition the way that I manifested in my head, and even better. I feel like that has bothered people's spirits. Like, even if they doing better than me, still, it bothers people's spirits that, like, bitch, I don't give a fuck what you doing. I don't give a fuck what you doing. I'm focused on me. That really bothers people's spirits when you're at peace with yourself. And you don't care I don't care what you're doing. I'm focused on me. I'm doing my own shit. The reason I'm saying this is because when this girl from this trip, let's call her Dory, like Finding Nemo, from Dory from Finding Nemo. I'm going to call her Dory because when I think of her, I literally see Dory's eyes, like her eyes, like, you know how they like, you know, like I think her, she makes me think of Dory. Dory is there with me in my apartment the last day that I'm moving out, and we go our separate ways. And this is in August. I moved out of Buckhead in August. I went to Canada for a couple weeks, and then I came down here to Miami Beach. And when I finally got down here to Miami Beach, I probably was here for maybe 6 weeks, September, October, November, probably going on 90 days, when Dory reached out to me, and Dory was like, hey, would you like to go on a trip? And I was like, okay, cool, yeah. So we go on a trip, and on this trip, Dory gives me, while we're in our Airbnb, Dory's like, hey, Akila, I have a gift for you. She didn't tell me she had a gift on my way there. She was like, I have a gift for you. I have something I want to give you. And I'm like, okay. Sometimes I'm not receptive to gifts, mainly because I've been introduced to this realm of a world where people can have like not the best intent behind when they're doing something for you, giving something to you. You know, I've been Like I've seen that happen. So I was apprehensive to receive this gift, and I use my spirit is just like always talking to me all the time, even when somebody's trying to give something to me, because it's like, why are you giving this to me? You know, like it wasn't for a celebration, it wasn't for a birthday, it was just very random that you wanted to gift this to me, and you've never given me a gift, you've never done this. It was just very strange, weird behavior. So my spirit detected it immediately, like a metal detector. Like when you walk through a metal detector and it was like beep 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 beep. It was like, my alarm bell went up when she's like, hey Akila, I have this gift I want to give you, because she never mentioned anything about the gift. She didn't be like, and she's coming from a different place. So we meet. She wasn't coming from Atlanta. I was coming from Miami Beach. She was coming from somewhere else, but I'm not gonna say these places because whoever's watching this video, I don't care if you go back and put the pieces to the puzzle together, but for legal reasons, I'm not saying names. She met me from another place, so she didn't. It's the point I'm making is, it's not like she bought me a souvenir from where she was coming from. This gift that she was wanting to give me was just so random, and I'm telling y'all this because y'all need to be mindful of when people give y'all gifts as well. What happened was I started sensing this. You know how you're on the beach and you have the gold detector thing on you, and you're like, beep, you know how you going, and then you just scanning, but instead of it being the gold detector, it's my spirit that's scanning the other person. Like I'm scanning you, almost like when you stand in front of an eye scanner and they need to check your eye scan thing. You're scanning the person's spirit, because we're energies. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be exchanged, but it cannot be destroyed. You can transmute it, but it can't be destroyed. One day when we came back from the dispensary on our trip, and we're in the Airbnb, and we're like getting ready for the next day. We're planning our itinerary for the next day, talking about the things that we're gonna do. And she's like, Akila, when I looked at her, she had where her room was, it was right by the bathroom. So like her room door was open, and she had clothes everywhere. Like you would have thought that this motherfucking Airbnb was her closet. Like when I tell you, it was clothes everywhere. Like I couldn't even see the bed. That's how many clothes was in this girl's room. I could not even see her bed. It almost looked like a hoarder took over the Airbnb in just one day. No cap. And that's how we females are. We overpack. But bitch, y'all need to stop doing that shit. It look a mess. We're in the Airbnb, and I got all my clothes, like my fits. I done created me a capsule wardrobe. Like, you see, bitch, every time you see me, I'm gonna be looking good. Okay? I look good. The fuck good. So I already got my outfits. I'm not really concerned about what I'm wearing the next day. I already planned this out. Like, I strategically planned my shit out, bitch. Slaying. She has these dresses that she tried on, and they didn't fit her. They still have the tags on them. And she's like, oh, these are my dresses from my store. Because she has like an online boutique. So she's like, these are my dresses from my store. And she tried it on. She's like, these are my dresses from my store, but they don't fit me how I want them to fit, especially in the boob area. I feel like they would fit you better in the breast area. And she looked me up and down, and she was like, yeah, I just feel like they would fit you better in the best. Tell me if I'm reaching now. She was like, I just feel like they fit you better in the breast area. And I'm like, okay, cool. So as I'm going to try on these dresses, but is she giving it to me? She was like, only thing I ask is that whenever you post on Instagram, post the dresses on Instagram, I want you to tag me and tag my store. And I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. I didn't think anything of it. That's fine. Bitch, tell me why I go try on these dresses. Y'all should have seen the look on her face. It was like And this is your spirit. Your spirit is like lightning speed. You know, you got to pay attention to it. Your spirit is so fast. It's faster than lightning, bitch. Your spirit's faster when you flip the light on, bitch. Like it, you know how quick it is to flip a light on, bitch? Your spirit is quicker than that. I'm like, uh-oh, spirit's like, beep, 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 beep. Did you detect that? Beep, 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 beep. Did you detect that? Did you detect that? And I'm up here like, yeah, I see that. These are like the voices in my head, like, you seen that shit? I'm like, yeah, I seen that shit. Damn, look how she looking at you. Like, look how she looking at you wearing her dresses. And she kept insisting, like, make sure you tag me, make sure you tag me. I don't even have that many followers on Instagram. I only have like 12,500. And I think that she has like less than 800. And I didn't mind tagging her in the group. Like, I don't feel like 12,000 people is a lot of people compared to some other numbers on Instagram. But either way, I'm appreciative of my 12,000. And if you're one of my Instagram followers following this video right now, I really do appreciate you. And if you are not one of my Instagram followers, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Akila Galore. Thank you. So she is, she told me to tag her. I didn't think anything of it. While we out here on this trip, I'm having a good time. I'm having a blast. I took off from work. I'm enjoying myself. I'm just living my life. Mind you, I met her in this black cult group. This is how I met this girl. I met her in the black cult group. Her rank in this group was pretty subpar. When she would have events, people would hardly ever show up for her. When she would go, she would always be showing up for people, but people hardly ever showed up for her. And that's something that I recognized. And I started showing up to her events, like seeing what she had going on. And I peeped like, oh, this girl pretty lit. It's just, I can see how people, I felt she was pretty lit, but I quickly recognized why people don't like being around her. I quickly recognized why she was alone. And this is something that people could recognize in me because I self-reflect so much. It's like, what you're saying about her can be like, what I'm saying about her can be applied to my own self. What I'm saying about her, people could be like, oh, I got around Akila and I quickly recognized why she's always by herself. A lot of times why I'm always by myself, it comes from people P-R-E-Y-ing on me, not P-R-A-Y-ing on me. Like literally men and women have both P-R-E-Y'd on me and not P-R-A-Y. Therefore, I have become more like I have trust issues, bitch. But it's not from a place where it's like I'm a weird witch or practicing some type of something that makes people feel like, I don't fucking know. I don't fucking care. The point that I'm fucking making in this video today here right now is to let you all know that this bitch, when I tried on these dresses, after this bitch gave me these 2 motherfucking dresses and I bought these dresses back to my house and I hung these dresses up in my closet, everything started going disarray for me. Bitch, I lost my job. Bitch, shit started happening around me that I had no justification of. Shit started happening in my house, bitch. Fucking my curtains started falling out of nowhere in the middle of the night. My curtains would be falling at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Shit started breaking in my house. Like shit started, like I would be seeing like these dark entities, these weird shit started shifting. It was paranormal activity in my house after I bought these dresses in my house, y'all. I promise to God, some people might not even believe me, but the only reason I'm telling this story is because I told it to my homegirl Fairy earlier today. I can't remember what I called her earlier in the beginning of this video, but she was like, that shit is crazy, but this is what happens. How did I find out? What made me start thinking this way? How did I come up with this conclusion? I came up with this conclusion because this girl that I had met on a trip who gave me these dresses, when we was on this trip, she was asking, when I lost my job, y'all, I immediately, like when significant things happen in my life, I immediately self-reflect. Like I'm like, oh shit. Cause I'm a firm believer in if things are going great in your life, then you're going to take accountability for that. Like if your life is great, you're going to take accountability for that. So if you have a shitty life, why not take accountability for the fact that it's your choices that have made your life the way that it is? So for me, it wasn't a performance thing at work. Like literally, it was not a performance thing. It was just like one Monday we had a meeting at work, and then while we having a meeting at work, they said everything's all good. We're preparing to close out our fourth quarter of the calendar year. Our fourth quarter, we're preparing to close it out. The very next day on a Tuesday, I got a call saying that the company's going through a blackout and I'm laid off, and I'll be given a severance package. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And they were like, yeah, I'm sorry. And then all this other paranormal activity started happening. And the best way the devil could trick you is for you to believe that he's not real. The devil is very much so real. The spirit world is very much so real. This bitch, when I would be having nightmares, and I haven't had nightmares in a very long time, like very, very long time. I would be waking up in cold sweats. I was, like I couldn't sleep comfortably. Like at night, I just was restless. Like whatever reason, I had no peace. Like my spirit was just not at peace with these dresses in my house. And I'm up here talking about, all of a sudden, I started confiding in my spirit, guys, and confiding in my spiritual team, and confiding in my spirit. Like I had to go to my spirit team. I had to go ask them. I was like, yo, these things are happening and it's not making sense in the 3D world. I know that has to be something in the spiritual world that's going on. Like there's something in the spiritual realm that's going on. This is not making sense to me. I can't figure this out. I need help. So they said, go into meditation. I went into meditation, and I went into a heavy meditation. I went into a heavy meditation. I started fasting, and I did a house cleanse. And all of a sudden, I started reflecting and backtracking back to like the events of what had led up to me losing my job, all this paranormal activity started happening. These nightmares, these night sweats, like I backtracked to what it was that caused, like, okay, I realized that none of this started happening until I went on this trip and I got these dresses from this girl. I got these 2 dresses from this girl. My spirit was like, get rid of the dresses. I'm not in a space where, like, if I was in my backyard, I would have burned the dresses. But my spirit was like, get rid of those dresses. Like something kept telling me, get rid of those dresses, 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 get rid of those dresses. Them dresses gotta go. Them dresses do not belong in your house. Something is attached to them dresses. Get rid of them dresses. These dresses were like given to you to bring down your beauty. Like the intent behind these dresses weren't meant to flatter you. Like get rid of these dresses. I don't know if y'all following me, but get rid of these dresses, basically. And I got rid of the dresses. After I came back from this trip, you know how you back from the trip and you text people like, oh, I made it home. That didn't happen with us. Neither one of us text each other back when we got home. In fact, I didn't hear from her for like a whole month. After this trip, after all these things had been happening, I didn't hear from her for like 4 weeks after this trip. And after this trip, maybe not even 4 weeks, it's probably 2.5 weeks went by. Maybe like I say 2.5, 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks went by before she reached out to me. But when she reached out to me, it wasn't, and this is after New Year's. Mind you, I went on this trip in November. I lost my job in December. She reaches out to me in January of this year, and she didn't say hello. She just sent me like this text message of some shoes that we had seen when we was on this trip that I wanted to buy. But at the time, I didn't buy them because I wanted to come home and buy my dining room table. So I reserved my money for my dining room table. And I didn't. So she sent me the shoes, showing me that the shoes had went on sale. And this is after all these things that happened. And I felt like at this point, all this time went by, and God had told me that she was a monitoring spirit. And I needed to get rid of her. I needed to cut affiliation, cut ties with her, cut her off. Mind you, she had never done anything to me besides like spiritually. Like this is all spiritually. I see the text messages after I done got rid of the dresses. I done did a cleansing over my home. Probably a few days go by when I received this text message from her. After I did this cleanse of my house, I was sleeping better. I started sleeping back throughout the night. Just those couple nights after getting rid of these dresses out my house, I started sleeping better. I started feeling normal again. And then I got this text message from her, and I didn't even respond to her text message. I deleted the text message. I blocked her number, blocked her on Instagram, blocked her other website off my Instagram. Right before I did all the blocking, because this is after New Year's. So it's like probably New Year's Eve, I believe, that I checked my Instagram and I seen her pop up on timeline, and I checked her story. And her story confirmed what my spirit had been telling me all along, which is this bitch is still affiliated with people who are part of this cult, who are part of like this witch coven, who have these, there are people who are in this cult who have these certain practices that she's affiliated with. And I visited their house. They have these witch practice books. I believe that she's a part of all of this shit. They have this group, they have this thing that they do. They have these ritualistic ways of being. I believe that she's a part of this group. I believe that I cut them off and they wanted to seek revenge. And I believe that she was sent to me because she was the one that was closest. So she was sent to me with these things, these items, to bring it to my home, to continue on with their curses of what they were doing. And it was a spiritual attack. But it didn't work. It was trying to work and made me like sleepy, and I fucking lost my job. Like all these different things are going on. And as I am, because there was no other like logic behind these happenings. This is spiritually. And this might be going over some of y'all head, but this is what happened. This is my story. So as I'm discussing but I honestly don't believe that this is going over you all's head, because I believe that you all are intelligent beings just as much as me. And those who understand what I'm talking about, you know. So I got rid of these dresses. I see her on Instagram with the same motherfucking girl I see her on Instagram on motherfucking Thing 3. Dory and Thing 3, who Dory had talked about like a dog, was on Instagram all kissed up, bringing in the new year together. I immediately, when she did text me a couple days after New Year's, I deleted the text messages, blocked the number, blocked the Instagrams, blocked all communication, blocked all ties. And I have not been affiliated with this girl ever since then. I got rid of her items. I got rid of those items. I got rid of her ass, and I am not affiliated with nobody from that group. I don't have anybody trying to block my blessings or block what I got going on over this way, or sending me spells, sending me evil entities, sending me evil eyes, sending all that stuff that they be sending in the spiritual world. And if you have had similar experience like me, please do comment down in the comment section below, because that shit is very real. And if you would like to hear more story times, let me know. Or I'll just come back and tell you another story time when I motherfucking think of it. See you in the next video.